This photo was taken in 2008. It shows us an entrepreneur who's about to embark on a journey that will change the course of human history forever. Do you recognize this man? Of course you do. This is Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, and now the richest person in the world. But let's go back to the year 2008, a time when Elon Musk's SpaceX company was on the verge of bankruptcy. His company had already spent over $100 million and had only one last chance to prove itself to investors or else risk losing everything. So what happened next shocked the whole world. In the beginning, no one took Elon's ideas seriously. After spending over $100 million, he managed to build a rocket named Falcon 1. But before the launch, there were many doubts. In fact, everyone thought he would fail once again, like he did with the previous two rockets. Even Musk's own mother worried about her son. She even called the local police to find out whether they had a plan for evacuating the area in case the rocket exploded during the launch. Despite all these concerns, Elon was sure that his idea would succeed. He spent over $30 million on Falcon 1's development, and now he was ready to reap the rewards. So on September 28, 2008, the moment of truth arrived. Falcon 1 lifted off from the seaside launch site at Vandenberg Air Force Base, California. And this time, unlike previous launches, it reached its target without any problems. From that day on, everything changed. SpaceX became the first private company to successfully deliver a satellite into orbit. However, Musk didn't stop there. He went on to launch 5 more rockets that year, which also proved to be successful. With that, the company was saved from bankruptcy, and now Elon could finally enjoy some financial stability. But then in 2009, another crisis struck. During a routine test, one of the Falcon 1 rockets exploded. What should they do?
Should they repeat the previous mistake of launching a new rocket without proper testing? Or should they try something different?
They decided to combine the best parts of the previous rockets and create something new, more powerful and reliable. That's how Falcon 9 was born.
On June 22, 2010, Falcon 9 made its first launch. It reached orbit and landed back on Earth safely. This was a huge step forward for space travel. From now on, SpaceX rockets wouldn't have to splash down in the ocean after completing their mission. Instead, they would be able to land back on solid ground, which would make them much more reusable. Since then, SpaceX has performed hundreds of launches using Falcon 9 rockets, and each time they've done so, they've become better and more efficient. But Falcon 9 wasn't the only breakthrough that happened that year. Another major event was the launch of the Dragon capsule. This event marked the beginning of a new era in space exploration, because it was the first time that a commercial spacecraft was used to resupply the International Space Station. And not only did Dragon manage to reach the ISS, but it also docked with it. This was a giant leap forward for SpaceX, because until then, all spacecraft that had docked with the ISS were government-owned. Now this meant that SpaceX could compete with NASA and other government agencies when bidding for contracts to supply services to the ISS. However, things weren't always smooth sailing. There were times when SpaceX experienced setbacks, such as when one of the Dragon capsules exploded during a test on Earth. But even in the face of such challenges, Musk never gave up. Every time something went wrong, he would take steps to improve his product and make sure it wouldn't happen again. Then in 2015, something incredible happened. For the first time ever, a rocket landed vertically after returning from space. You might be wondering why this was such a big deal. Well, until then, all rockets either crashed into the ocean or landed horizontally on solid ground. But Musk managed to pull off the first vertical landing, which proved that it was possible. This achievement alone changed the future of space travel forever. From now on, rockets could be reused over and over again, which made space travel much cheaper and more accessible. In fact, this is one of the reasons why SpaceX is so popular today. The rockets are much cheaper to use than those of their competitors. But Musk didn't stop there. He continued to push forward, and in 2018, he launched Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket in the world since NASA's Saturn V rocket during the Apollo era. This rocket was so powerful that it could carry payloads of up to 64 tons into low Earth orbit, which was more than any other rocket in operation at the time. To celebrate this achievement, Musk decided to launch a Tesla car into solar orbit. Now, it might sound crazy, but he actually did it. A modified Tesla Roadster was launched into space, and it's been orbiting the sun ever since. It even made a cameo appearance in the movie Avengers: Endgame. As we can see, every year SpaceX achieved greater success than the previous one. But 2020 was a particularly significant year for them. It was the first time that a private company sent humans into space. Before this, only government-owned spacecraft were allowed to carry astronauts. But SpaceX proved that they were capable of doing so. The Crew Dragon capsule was launched carrying 2 NASA astronauts, and it successfully docked with the International Space Station. This was a giant leap for both SpaceX and for the future of space travel. It opened the door for more private companies to get involved in sending humans into space. In fact, since then, SpaceX has launched a total of 16 crewed missions to the ISS using Crew Dragon. In addition to multiple space tourism flights such as Inspiration 4 and Axiom Mission 1, and this is just the beginning. The company has plans to launch even more missions in the future, including sending humans to the moon. But all this begs the question, what has SpaceX achieved so far? Let's take a look at some numbers that will blow your mind. Over 477 successful rocket launches. More than 438 successful rocket landings. Over 8,000 satellites launched. Most under the Starlink project, which aims to provide internet coverage to every corner of the globe. And 16 crewed missions to the ISS, using Crew Dragon, in addition to multiple space tourism flights. These are truly impressive numbers, and they show just how far SpaceX has come in such a short amount of time. It's hard to believe that the company was almost on the verge of bankruptcy just a few years ago. Now they're one of the most successful space companies in the world. But Elon's journey didn't end there. He continued to work hard and invest in new projects. One of his most recent ventures is Neuralink, a company that is developing technology to help people with brain disorders. Now here's where things get interesting. When all these events were happening, Elon Musk's net worth was changing as well. In 2008, he had a net worth of less than $20 million, and he almost lost it all when SpaceX almost went bankrupt. But then everything changed. SpaceX started to succeed, so did Elon's net worth. By 2021, his wealth exceeded $300 billion, making him one of the richest and most influential figures in the history of space exploration. Looking at Elon Musk's journey, we can see that success doesn't come easy. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. But with that, anything is possible. We should all strive to be like Elon and never give up on our dreams, no matter how difficult they may seem. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.